Hello everyone, this is Ryan at South Atlanta Helicopters. Today I'd like to show you how to start up the Robinson R22 helicopter. First thing we're going to go over is our required documents. So we have our standard airworthiness certificate, our registration behind that. On the left side of the helicopter you're going to see the operating handbook, and inside that it's going to be our weight and balance record. Next, I do have my required certificates, licenses, a photo ID, and medical certificate. So we're legal to operate this helicopter. Next, we're going to get the checklist. First thing first, seatbelt's fastened. Mine is fastened. Fuel shut-off valve is located on the left side of the helicopter. That white arrow should be pointed to the on position. Next, we're going to take cyclic and collective friction off. Cyclic friction is right here. Twist counterclockwise is off. Collective friction is full forward, and it is off. Next, we're going to check the cyclic, collective, and pedals for full free travel. I like to do all three of these simultaneously. So I'm going to raise the collective, add left pedal, go forward on the cyclic, and I'm going to do a box technique all the way around. And then back the other way to verify. What you're looking for is freeness of travel. So we shouldn't feel any pops, binds, or friction points on any of the travels of the controls. Next up, we're going to check the throttle for full free travel. So I'm going to roll the throttle on. There's a full on position. I'm going to roll the throttle off to idle. And then I'm going to check that the detent and stop work. And the throttle springs back to idle. Next, we are going to push the collective full down, put the friction full on. We are going to center the cyclic and put friction full on. And then lastly, we're going to make sure the pedals are centered and locked down. Next, I'm going to make sure that the rotor brake is disengaged. That'll be over your left-hand shoulder here. If we didn't get that rotor brake off, we would have a rotor brake light on the dash whenever we turn the battery on, and we wouldn't be able to start the helicopter. Next, we're going to check that the circuit breakers located on the left side of the helicopter are all in. Next, we're going to verify that carb heat is full down in the off position, and we'll lock that for now. Mixture, we're going to go to full rich. That's a full down position. We'll push the button in and press down. We're going to install the mixture guard onto the mixture itself. Primer, we do have a primer on this helicopter. It's right here. Down and clockwise is in the lock position. Landing light switch should be in the off position. The clutch should be in the aft position. The altimeter should be set for field elevation, which is 883 feet here at Hampton. And my governor switch should be in the on position, located on the front side of the throttle. And we're ready to start the engine. All right, starting engine and run up. First, we're going to throttle twist for priming as required. So I'm going to go ahead and give it one quick burst of throttle on. I'm going to roll that throttle off into the detent and let it spring back to the idle position. Next, we're going to verify that throttle is closed. Again, just go into the spring and let it spring back to idle. Next, battery and strobe switches coming on. All right, battery and strobe switches are now coming on. Verify the area is clear all around the helicopter. I'm also going to give it a nice clear indication. Clear. Next up, I'm going to move the ignition switch to both and then start. We should get the starter light on, the engine should fire, and then we're going to release the starter and the starter light should go out. And the starter light is out. Next, I'm going to come down and set my RPMs to 55%, so I'm going to slowly roll that throttle on. The left side engine tachometer should come up to 55%. From here, I'm going to go down and verify we do have oil pressure. The oil pressure light is out. Oil pressure gauge indicates pressure. I'm going to come down and engage the clutch switch. The blades are already turning within 5 seconds. I'm going to maintain 55% with the throttle and engage the alternator. Alternator light does go out. I have positive indication of voltage. We just maintain 55%, and now the rotor tachometer needles are married to the engine. Now we would normally put headsets on and wait for the clutch light out to continue the checklist. And now that the clutch light is out, we'll go ahead and verify that the circuit breakers are all in still, particularly the clutch start circuit breaker with the red hi-hat. Now I'm going to advance the throttle. I'm going to accelerate through the sympathetic lower yellow arc range to 70% for warm-up. Now we're going to wait for all 3 engine gauges to come up inside the green. While we're waiting for that, I'm going to turn on the radio and the GPS. While we're waiting for the engine gauges to get in the green, we can go ahead and listen to the AWAS.
Altimeter 3028, density altitude 2000. Atlanta Speedway Airport. Automatic weather observation 1742 Zulu. Weather, wind 180 at 7. Visibility 104,600. Scattered. Temperature 26 Celsius. Dew point 14. Altimeter 3028. Density altitude 2000.
Alright, now that we have the weather for Hampton Airport, all 3 of our gauges are on the green, so we can continue on with the checklist. Next up, we're going to do the mag drop at 75%. We have a 7% maximum in 2 seconds. So we're going to advance the throttle to 75% on the tachometer. I'm going to locate the ignition switch, and I'm going to click the switch left 2 times to the right magneto position. Count 1001, 1002 in my head, and then we'll look for a 7% drop in less than 2 seconds. Here we go. 1001, 1002, back to both. That was a less than 7% drop. We'll wait for the recovery. We're back at 75%. We're going to test the left magneto now. 1001, 1002, less than 7% drop in 2 seconds. Back to both. Next item on our checklist, we're going to do the carb heat check. So I'm going to unlock carb heat. I'm going to pull full carb heat, and we should see a rise on the cat gauge and a drop in RPM. That check suffices, so we're going to go ahead and turn carb heat off now. Next is our sprag clutch check. We're going to verify that the engine needle splits from the rotor needle. I'm going to do that by rapidly closing the throttle. Anytime that we're going to touch the throttle, we give a nice countdown. 3, 2, 1, throttle closed, engine needle splits from the rotor needle. We're just going to let the engine come back to idle. Next, we're going to check the map chart. So on the back side of this checklist is a handy chart for us to use. I like to calculate the 5-minute takeoff rating. That's this lower chart here. So we're closest to 1,000. We come up to 1,000. The temperature was 26 degrees outside. We're going to go right there, follow the line to the vertical axis, and we're right at 23.5 for our 5-minute limit. Then we're going to subtract 0.9 inches from our manifold pressure. That gives us 22.4, 22.5 on our manifold pressure gauge. So now we reach up here and verify that. So 20, 1, 2 and a half, the middle of the yellow arc, and then 23.5 towards the top end of the yellow arc. Turn the checklist back over. We're going to take cyclic and collective friction off. Again, cyclic friction's here. Counterclockwise is off. Collective friction's on the collective itself. Full forward is off. We're going to make sure the governor is on by verifying that the light is off for governor off light. We can also feel the switch on the end of the throttle. Next, we're going to increase the throttle to 102 to 104%. Again, slowly advancing it above 80%, the governor will take it, at which point we just guard the throttle for engine overspeed. There's 80%, the governor has it, it'll stabilize right at 104% on both tachometers. We're going to wait for that clutch light to go out, that's normal operation. Now that that clutch light's out, we're going to test our low rotor warning light and horn system. We're going to raise the collective about a half an inch to 1 inch off the deck and slowly roll the throttle down to 97%. We should get a light and a horn indication. That light and horn should go right back off at 97%, and now we're ready to go take off and fly.